São Paulo is the biggest city of Brazil, with more than 12 million people and a lot of difficult urban challenges. But it's also a place of many initiatives that are trying to improve the city. One of them is Cidade Ativa, a non-profit organization that is having a great impact, transforming São Paulo in a more inclusive, resilient, and healthy city. So let's try to figure out how they're doing it.
Hello, I'm Gabriela Calejas.
And I'm Ramiro Levi.
We are from Cidade Ativa. Cidade Ativa is a non-profit organization that promotes healthier, more inclusive and resilient cities. We have three main strategies. First, we do research. We collect data and analyze this data. We create new methodologies for understanding the built environment and people's behaviors. We also we design, so we use the data we collected and we engage stakeholders in this process. And third, we also share the knowledge we created. So we do campaigns, we organize events, and we write reports and articles. Based on these three main strategies, we have different initiatives that explore the relationship between our cities and people lifestyles, considering that there's an endless cycle. People change environments, and these environments change people, and so forth.
São Paulo has some main challenges as there's this huge city, and one of these challenges is probably around equalizing access to citizens' rights, such as housing, education, health, and also increasing quality of life. So in a sense, it has a lot to do with social spatial segregation. So we have the challenge of distributing housing opportunities, jobs, public services, and public spaces around the city in a more fair way. So in a city like this, access depends on mobility. So the big challenge is both improving infrastructure through public transport, sidewalks, bike lanes, and also roads, but also reshaping the city so these opportunities are more equally divided and distributed, so improving access while also improving the city efficiency.
Cidade Ativa is helping São Paulo to be fairer and more inclusive by recognizing that people should be able to make choices on their daily routine. They need to have options. And by options we mean people should be able to choose where they want to live, or if they have to be forced to live in the periphery or far from main services where it's affordable. People actually should be able to choose to walk, to bike, or use public transport to move around the city. We think that people should have the option to go rest in a public space, in a park, or go study in a library. These options should be there for them. We believe in that all types of people, women, men, people with disabilities, children, senior, poor, rich, of all colors, everyone, they should have these options. And this understanding is behind everything we do, all the research we undertake and projects we develop. My first recommendation would be to find people who are also interested to work on the same issues like we do.
If you want to do something like Cidade Ativa, you mean?
Yes. From our experience, having around motivated friends and colleagues who share the same vision was crucial for launching Cidade Ativa. Second tip I would give would be professions are not forever defined or closed. There are so many opportunities for coming up with new ways of working, for new ways of defining what being an architect or an urban planner or urban designer is. don't be afraid to, or ashamed of doing something that you don't know exactly how to do, or that initially you wouldn't see as something as an architect would do. Feel free to invent, come up with new methods, techniques, tools. It's actually a lot of fun. My third tip, our third tip would be to, and this might be tough for an architect, be humble, listen to others, listen to other professionals, but mainly I see we should listen to the ordinary, the common people in the streets.
Yeah, if you want them to contribute to build more just cities, you need to give yourself as a professional the opportunity for them to interact, and also to tell them what is urban planning, and work as a multidisciplinary effort with other professionals, so architects, urban planners, designers, economists, lawyers, sociologists, health experts, social workers, everyone working together to formulate these policies.
So actually, planning urban spaces and infrastructure always means engaging with stakeholders who will give us different types of inputs. We need to understand exactly which steps of this planning process should include citizens' concerns and ideas. We need to understand what type of input we expect from them, if we want their knowledge of a specific neighborhood, or if we want their approval on a proposal we made. And then we can design the entire process taking that into account. We also design the process. We don't design only the plan itself as architects and planners. We can design the process. So sometimes we need to actually design the tools that we're going to use to engage with these people, or sometimes we need to actually design the way in which we're going to synthesize or consolidate this input that they're going to give us. Public engagement for us is not something you add afterwards to your planning process. It is in the core of this process.
Right. So not only as an architect, urban designer, to give this space, but also when you give this space for people engagement, people can actually, like regular citizens, they can actually improve by their own, or they can understand how to actually act on these improvements of their neighborhoods. But in order to do that, we need to give them space, and they need to discuss. People doing, like, working alone without colleagues that think more or less the same, or have different ideas, but they are willing to open the discussion, or to get informed, share the knowledge from different points of view they have on these themes. They want to improve or be interested in transformations in their neighborhoods, in this promotion of transformations. They need to have a space to discuss that. So one way of doing that is, like, a regular citizen could engage and be part of a neighborhood association, or even if there's no neighborhood association, to create a formal or informal one, but a place for discussion. They can also and should add to that monitoring, like city councilors or representatives, or even the local government, like the executive local government. So making sure that their needs is taken into account, or the transformations is going to be for them as they took part, and during the process, not afterwards. But I think mostly people need to think of the improvements and changes by opening and looking more broadly to the issues they want to transform, the spaces they want to transform, and also put themselves in the other's position. So if you think of children, elders, women, or disabled people and their needs, their specific needs, if you think and design and engage them in the process, usually you can get results that are good for everyone. So be active on this transformation, on this discussion, and help the way you can. To finish? No? No finish? So it's done. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.